Hello and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your host, Morgan. Now, in the last Serpent Sunday, I mentioned my little adventure to help a gopher snake cross the road. So this week, we're going to talk about safety when you are attempting to assist wildlife in a situation like that. In my particular story, which you can hear if you go back to the most recent Serpent Sunday about gopher snakes, I was in a fairly safe position. My road into my community is fairly quiet and I was off the main road far enough so that it wasn't an issue. But I do realize that the way it's worded, it might encourage people to stop and remove anything from the road regardless of their own personal safety. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, while I do encourage you to help if you can, please make sure your safety is number one in these situations. So I knew it was a gopher snake when I drove into the road. I could clearly see that it was a gopher snake. I have spent a lot of time studying the reptiles in our area. A big part of the herpetology class I just took, I had to memorize a bunch of reptiles and amphibians and know how to ID them on the spot. And also I grew up seeing rattlesnakes and gopher snakes. I know the difference just kind of by looking at them. But that's not the point I'm getting at right now. We will touch on the venomous species in a moment. The point here is, if you are pulling off the side of the road to help an animal and the road is quiet enough that you're not putting yourself in danger, please do make sure your vehicle is far enough off to the side of the road that it's not going to be blocking anything and that it's not going to get hit, you're not going to be injured when you get in or out of it, and that nobody else on the roadway is going to be injured by your vehicle. If you are going up to try to help an animal cross the road, the big thing is, don't take them back in the opposite direction of the way they're pointed, because they're just going to crawl right back onto the road to continue onto their path. This is especially important when you're dealing with animals like turtles and tortoises. Just move them over directly to the side of the road in the direction they're going so that they will continue on their merry way, which is what we did with the gopher snake. Now, in general, one of the best ways to deal with snakes in the road is to encourage them to cross on their own, which is what I attempted to do with this snake first. However, the situation of the day, he was not really able to do that. He had to be picked up and moved. Which does bring us a little bit to, what if that had not been a non-venomous animal? What if that had been a venomous creature? I do not recommend ever picking up a venomous snake. You are putting yourself in unnecessary danger. While I do think it is noble to try to help them move across the road, if you have not been trained to safely handle a venomous animal, never put yourself in that danger. Also, if you cannot positively ID the animal you're about to try to help, do not put yourself in that danger. If you do not have a way to encourage it from a distance that keeps you out of strike range or out of the range of potential harm, do not go near that animal. As callous as it may sound, it is worse off for you if you end up being hospitalized by trying to help than it is for the ecosystem to unfortunately lose one of those creatures on a roadway. Now, that being said, I do realize that there are people out there that know what they're doing and are able to help in situations like that. But we also need to touch on a little bit if you see a larger creature, like, for example, a deer or even a fox or coyote injured on the road. No matter what the situation is in those cases, in general, my opinion is that if you are not in some way trained for that situation, the best thing you can do is call the appropriate agency to help. If you want, stop and wait with them. However, it's going to be more stressful for that animal and more stressful for yourself, and possibly end up injuring yourself or that animal if you are untrained and trying to help. The same goes for animals like birds in general. If it's small enough that you can safely get it into some sort of container like a box, do that and take it to an appropriate facility for rehabilitation. But if it is anything else, like specifically a bird of prey or a vulture, please don't try to handle that animal. Their talons and their beaks are very sharp, and that can easily result in you or that animal being mortally wounded. I have had the opportunity to firsthand see how large birds of prey's claws and beaks are, and I can tell you those are very specialized weapons that those birds will use, whether they're trying to get food or defend themselves. So in general, the best thing you can do in situations like that is have the numbers for your local wildlife centers on hand to be able to call them, and they will come and handle it for you. Please don't handle anything that you are not specifically trained to do. You're going to end up doing more harm than good in most cases. Now, most wildlife rehabilitation centers and stuff, you can probably volunteer, but even if you are a volunteer there, the best thing you can usually do is still call someone who is specifically trained to come pick them up and deal with the situation. But the moral of this whole little talk I'm giving it now is just be safe, use your common sense, don't put yourself or an animal in unnecessary danger. And if you are in a position to help a snake across the road or something like that, just make sure you're not going to get hit in doing so, and your vehicle is far enough off the road that everyone that could potentially come into the area, including yourself and other motorists, are safe. All right, well, I'm sorry that this video was not exactly an exciting one today, but I do believe it was an important one, especially after talking about my little snake-related scenario from a couple weeks ago. And I do hope that you have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening, night, what have you, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you would like to see more. And if you'd like to follow me on any of my other social medias, the links are down in the description below. Don't forget to check out thereptilegoth.com for all of my articles and blog posts. If you found any value in this video and you would like to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon page. That link is also in the description down below. And a special thanks goes out to my Diamond Dragon patron, Diane V. What you're doing is really helping me fund a dream here. I will see you guys all in the next one.